It's time for Around the Ozarks news, brought to you by the Springfield Greene County Park Board, Blue Current, and Thompson Sales. Here are your hosts, Ethan and Sarah Foreheads. Hi, guys. It is Friday. Finally, Friday. Thank you, Diana, for helping me again today.
You're welcome. Yay.
Yeah. All right. Let's
get
to it.
We got another sidekick today. If you're watching, I'm sorry if you're just listening to this, but I have the most adorable little German Shepherd pup.
Oh,
well, he's not a puppy anymore. He's 3,
a big boy.
He's taking up the little chair.
So I have 2 Tyndalls joining me this morning. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, let's get to it. So Art Hains has announced that this year is going to be his final year behind the microphone for the Bears. He is quoted as saying, as Ricky Ricardo once famously said, the time has come. And so it has come time for me as the voice of the Bears, a title that I have cherished for the last 44 years. Unfortunately, due to my physical limitations, it's become more difficult to prepare for and describe the games the way that I once did. The time comes for everyone, and this being our last year at the MVC, I'll just go out with the Valley. So starting his 44th season at Missouri State's he is the primary radio announcer. He works, he's going to work from home or work on the home games for football. I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
he's going to work the home.
He's been doing that, I think, for a while. Yeah,
he actually, So he's been kind of doing remote stuff, working on the home games, men's basketball, baseball during the 24 and 25 season. And so, it's September 2022. Hains has been battling the effects of West Nile virus, which has caused him paralysis, respiratory challenges, and even odds of survival over the past 2 years. So crazy story. A lot of people didn't even think he was going to make it this far.
Yeah.
So,
I am. It's not really a surprise that he's kind of like wanting to hang up the towel. Many people in the broadcasting industry and fans everywhere that have just been listening to him. Yeah, it's one of those things when he got sick, it was really scary. And it was kind of obviously during COVID, you have that impact on top of it. Poor guy. He's been through the ringer, but
yeah.
Well, speaking of other challenges, Convoy of Hope, the Red Cross, and Missouri Task Force 1 are stationed across North Carolina and Georgia because of flooding from Hurricane Debbie. Debbie's causing all these problems. So it's been a slow-moving storm with some uncertainty other than, more uncertainty than other storms this year. This has posed challenges to forecasters as well as those trying to plan disaster response. Teams of volunteers are mainly prepared for severe flooding as Debbie makes a slow departure. So Missouri Task Force 1, which has 45 people, left at 2:00 Wednesday morning. Convoy of Hope is definitely involved in this and has brought truckloads of survival needs and hygiene kits. And they've teamed up with local churches in the area to extend their hand during this time of need. So that's never fun when disaster strikes.
Of course, Ethan and Sarah know a lot more about Convoy of Hope than I do, but I'm so glad that we've got that rooted in the Ozarks and they help so many people. So that's
for sure.
Really cool. All right. Another cool thing. There has been a 2-carat diamond found at an Arkansas state park.
Ooh.
So I've never been to this park. It's specifically Arkansas's Crater of the Diamonds State Park. So I didn't even know that existed.
Oh, I've been. We can talk about that in a minute, but yes.
Okay. Yes, we can talk about it. But there was a father and son. Their names are Will and Marshall. They apparently frequented this park very often. And on July 27th, they were just kind of doing their thing, filling some buckets with dirt and sifting through. And the dad, Will, he spotted something shiny at the bottom, called the son over, and he pulled out a 2-carat diamond. So it's not as shiny as what we think of as diamonds. They said that it was about like a pencil eraser size, and it was a light brown color, like iced tea color. But they got to name it. So the diamond was named Minor Find. Like they named it Minor.
That's cute.
Because the dad calls his son the minor, like the junior minor.
That's cute. That's pretty cute.
So, and it was actually the second largest diamond registered this year, found at that park so far. So
wow,
pretty cool.
That park, I actually went and we camped nearby, and then did like a day kind of treasure hunting, as I like to say.
Mhm.
It's really like this wide open field, not even a field, like a giant mud pit if it
Yeah.
rained, right? It's like,
Uh-huh.
but we were there and it was very dry and it was very hot. There's hardly any shade. There's like these rinse off water stations, like as you feel like you found your treasure. But I feel like the park does a really good job of saying like, hey, here's what some of the things you might find, but everybody's kind of thinking, I might find a diamond, so I'm going to keep
Yeah.
every little rock that looks like it might be like a speck of something.
Could
And then,
possibly be a diamond.
a funnier part of this story is we decided to keep like 2 buckets of dirt from there because I just didn't have the time or energy to continue to go through it. So there might be like a 4-carat diamond
There could
in
be.
that dirt.
You're gonna have to look through it. You
No,
still have
and
the
then
dirt.
my mom was watching the kids while we were out of town and she threw it out. She was just thinking it's dirt.
I mean, she's not wrong. Like, why does she have this
But she
bucket of
didn't
dirt
know
here?
it was special dirt from Crater of the Diamonds where this kid
This
found
could have
this
been very
guy found 2
expensive
carats.
dirt.
I'll get over it. Anyways, on to
Oh,
this
that's
story.
funny.
All right, from dirt to listeria. Let's talk about this. So, Boar's Head, the deli meat company, it's now facing a potential class action lawsuit after deadly listeria outbreaks linking to its deli meats. This class action lawsuit was filed in a New York district court at the beginning of August. The plaintiff alleges that the company misled consumers by not properly warning them of the contamination in the initial July 25th recall. The first recall involved 200,000 pounds of its ready to go deli meat products. The recall was expanded several days later to include 7 million. So from 200,000
Yeah,
to 7 million pounds
that's
of
a
its meat
big
products.
difference.
Whew. Well, as of yesterday, and this is pretty serious, 43 illnesses have been reported in 13 states, and there's been 3 deaths already because of this. So
Wow.
definitely, if you have boar's head deli meat, just throw it out.
Yeah,
This is
for
the
real.
second lawsuit that Boar's Head is facing in relation to this listeria outbreak, and the first one originating from Missouri. So talk about kind of some marketing challenges overcoming that once you get
Really,
past that.
really.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I agree. If you got it, just throw it out. Not worth it.
No.
All right. Well, something that happened on Wednesday that was pretty cool. The city of Branson hosted a groundbreaking for their new police department.
Ooh.
So if you've driven through that area, I know my husband and I took our kids to Whitewater, and you kind of, if you go that back way to Whitewater, you pass right by it. So it was the White House Theater. If you're familiar with where that was, it's now
Mhm.
going to be the new police department. So the groundbreaking wasn't a traditional groundbreaking either. They had a SWAT team, they had door busting, glass shattering, and even an explosive breach. So they had to
Wow.
demolish parts of that theater anyway for the next round of construction. So they made a really big, cool event out of it. And
Wow.
the new facility is at a cost of $16 million. But it's on budget and it's on time and it's set to be done in early 2026. And our video producer, Chris Blasky, who was with me the other day, he actually went out there. So he got some good pictures of it. So if you haven't seen those yet, go look at our page. It was a really cool event. So,
Very neat. Well, glad
yeah.
to hear something, good is happening from the theaters that have been vacant for quite some time,
Yeah.
I'm
Mhm.
quite a remarkable police station. But
Really?
no, that's awesome. Well,
Mhm.
we've talked about the Route 66 festival, but what we haven't talked about is road closures. So just be
Mhm.
prepared for alternative driving routes if you're planning on going downtown. This weekend, it started last night, then all day Friday and Saturday. Some of the closures include St. Louis Street between Jefferson Avenue and Kimbrough Avenue, Park Central Square and Spokes, Jefferson Avenue between Water Street and Walnut Street. Really, pretty much every street downtown, it feels
Yeah,
like
a
is going to
lot of
be
them.
impacted. Yeah. So you make sure to go to the website for more details. Everything should be back open by 7 a.m. Sunday morning. All the festival activities are free, including the car and motorcycle show, all the music performances, and vendors throughout the festival will be selling food and beverages and merchandise that's all Route 66. And I had a friend actually that was sharing on Instagram the other day, like one of the bands that's playing. I wish I remembered which one she said, but how one of them was like her favorite. And she's like, "Who's coming and dancing with me?" And I'm like, oh,
sure, I'll go.
I know I would love to go, but we're going to the Cardinals tonight. So
True. Yes, we
anyways,
are.
I'm sure it'll be a blast this weekend. So make sure you get
Yes.
out and support
Yes, it's
that.
a very big event if you haven't been before. So be sure to check it out.
Yeah.
All right. Our next story, CPO. They're already preparing for the cold weather. So the Community Partnership of the Ozarks are looking for buildings that can be used as emergency cold weather shelters for the homeless. They're expecting a shortage this winter of places to house the homeless. According to a news release, CPO's Crisis Cold Weather Shelters program is a community initiative started by the Ozark Alliance to End Homelessness, and it's also facilitated, of course, by CPO. And CPO officials say that emergency cold weather shelters operate on nights where temperatures are below 32 degrees and from the dates of November 1st through March 31st. During the 23-24 season, shelters were open for 52 nights with an average of 183 people, which is a lot of people. People had to be turned away last year on 2 of the shelter nights because there weren't enough beds. And going forward into this year, they're already short 60 beds from what they were last year. Oof. So CPO said traditionally it's been faith-based organizations or nonprofits that have opened their buildings for this, but we are open to anything. There aren't any specific requirements. As long as you have a restroom, we can figure the rest out, is basically what they said. So yeah, if you've got a building or anything that hits those requirements and you're willing, just let them know.
It's crazy to be thinking about all the cold weather impacts. I know we got kind of this cold snap, which has really been nice, but
I've enjoyed it.
Be thinking of the really the cold winter months. Well, tonight is the big Cardinals game. I brought out my hat first thing in the morning, and I still got, I probably need to wash my hair before we go to the game. But tonight is Around the Ozarks night at the Springfield Cardinals. The theme is Ultimate Date Night. So end the night with romantic fireworks presented by Around the Ozarks. And Sarah is still in the lead for throwing out the first pitch. So I would imagine she's probably going to do that. So come on out, come see us. And even if you don't have a date, you know what? Come and enjoy a great night of baseball.
Yeah, it'll be a good night. And speaking of that, it's also going to be the last, we're wrapping up this weekend with our anniversary contest. I believe Sunday will be the last day that you could enter. But yeah, 2 years of Around the Ozarks News, 1 year of Abby Dyer, Wake Up Weather, and really big prize. We'll remind you again, it's $50 to Jim's Steakhouse, $50 to the Alamo, and a 4-pack of passes to Wonders of Wildlife. So big, you can just have a big old Springfield. That it sounds amazing.
Yeah, so much fun.
Yeah, so I think that's all we've got. Thank you so much, Diana, for helping me. And
you're welcome.
Even though I definitely feel like it's Friday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, hope everybody has a great weekend as well. There's lots to do.
For sure. All right. Thank you, guys. Have a great weekend.